What's up? It's your boy Reemus, and welcome back to the Superior Code, which is us figuring out the superior way of living. And someone commented on one of the other videos saying you should do an About Me video. And I thought that was a good idea actually, because if we're going on this journey of becoming the superior versions of ourselves, then you want to know who you're going on that journey with. So I'll start off by saying this, right? Um, my mission is to help empower people, especially empowering people as, men and women. It's not just about one or the other because a lot of people just want to focus on their own demographic, which is okay, that's fine. But me personally, I feel like if I have the wisdom, intelligence, skills, and talents to be able to help everyone in general, regardless, then that's something I'm definitely going to do, right? Now, with that in mind, I'll say this. Um, for me personally, when I was a young kid, I didn't know, the answers to all of this stuff. And I had my own zero to hero kind of story because when I was younger, I had little confidence. I had little people skills. I didn't have any communication skills. I always had a bit of belief, actually. I always thought, no, I don't, like, I shouldn't just accept this position in life that I'm at, like, emotionally. But yeah, as I said, like, when I was younger, I had really not much value in myself, and that flipped totally on his head. But I remember one time, or I say one time, I mean several times. I remember being on the back of the bus, and let's say people was on the front of the bus, and they was laughing and joking amongst themselves. I remember I would actually feel very uncomfortable, and in my head I'll be thinking, are they laughing at me? And that's what happens when you have social anxiety. So I had a lot of social anxiety, depressive bouts, suicidal thoughts. Yeah, just in general, just didn't have knowledge of self. Felt like I had no guidance in life. And it's funny because that's actually flipped on its head so much. This that young kid, that young boy who had no confidence, has grown into becoming a man with so much confidence that even, like, no matter what room he's gonna go in, he's most likely gonna be the most confident one in there. Um, I remember Googling how to make a girl laugh, and I was when I was a kid thinking me having a wife would be like unthinkable. Right? It's so crazy to think. And now all I can say is that's definitely not the case because, 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. And I've had experiences with women that many men will never have in their life. But I don't say that with arrogance. I say that with humility and appreciation because I know what it's like to come from that sort of beginning where you feel like that about yourself. I remember, right, even when it came to friends and making friends and socializing, it was very bad for me, right? So what I used to do is I used to go to the library and read books about great people, great figures, and especially great champions, especially in sports and boxing, because growing up, boxing was what I wanted to do until I got injured, in my early 20s. But I remember reading those stories about Mike Tyson, George Foreman, these guys, and these guys are obviously big, strong, all of that. But when they were kids, they were very insecure. They were very, challenged. They were very out of place and misguided too. And I fucked with that. I was like, damn, if they can grow into this big bad champion, then shit, I can do that too. Um, when I was younger, I also got into pickup, and that's like I had the fascination in sports and that stuff because of the mindset aspect. But then I also had a mad fascination in terms of gender dynamics and sexual nature. So I started in pickup. That's the art of seduction, learning that, and that's where I was helped along my journey of communication, charisma, personality development, people skills, social calibration, and all of that stuff. Fast forward a couple more years, now I'm learning about the red pill and all of this stuff. And when I say, there are some people that like learning about this stuff, but I mean, this is a dominating aspect of my life. Like, when I used to go home from school, I used to stop off at the bookstore, and I would read just magazines. Sometimes it would be like women's magazines, but it would always have the section about flirting and sex and all of that. And I would just read that constantly every day. So the two facets that made up my evolution and personal development for me was gender dynamics and obviously boxing and mindset and stuff like that, learning discipline, focus. And I've tried to bring it together to help, my journey of becoming the superior version of myself. But in particular, I'd say the most interesting aspect, or the aspect or subject that I find most interesting, is the fact that in this society today, we don't know how to be men and we don't know how to be women as a whole. We don't know how a man and a woman's supposed to relate. And it's no surprise that we're living in times where it's very dysfunctional. We're living in times where weak people are are jealous of strong people and trying to drag them down in their pursuit of equality. We also living in a time where on the other side there are people who are strong people, but they're living so unrighteously, which is what's making the weaker people mad. And I just think it's all chaotic. And one of my missions on this planet is to help have a social impact along that. So, as I said before, I want to help create strong masculine men and secure feminine women. If we do this, it will lead to healthier relationships. If we have healthier relationships, it will lead to functional families. If we have functional families, and we have many of those, that's a thriving community and society. And we can't get this information out anywhere else, because in mass media, on mass TV, the most viewed content is actually the most destructive content for us. So that's what we're doing on this channel. We're on a mission to be, aside from that stuff, we're out of that stuff. We're on a mission to becoming the greatest versions of ourselves so that we can have a healthy mind, so we can create healthy relationships, and we can have a positive impact and live in a positive type of community for ourselves. So I'll go into it in more detail in another video, but for now, peace, and I'll see you in the next video.